I wanted to ride my bike to school when I was in 8th grade. That was the reason I started riding a bike.
You know, when I got into cycling, it's something that I kind of had to struggle with, thinking that, shoot, I don't want to have to deal with this when I become a pro.
It's terrible that cycling has to take this.
Well, we all know there's guys out there taking drugs. I mean, I can read cycling news just like you can.
I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a lot of money. Like, I dropped out of school to race full time. It's kind of like racing or bust. I can see how a lot of the pressures would get to people.
Again, you speculate, you hear things, but there's no way you think it's as prevalent as it really is. It's out there. It's huge. We saw cycling almost come to a crumbling halt last year.
Why do I do this if this is the end result, if this is what the superstars of cycling end up as, and this is what you have to do to be a superstar? I mean, is this really what I want to do?
If you have to cheat to enjoy something, then what's the point? I contemplated not doing this anymore. I mean, my one saving grace was Danny Pate. You know, he kind of was like, Lucas, suck it up and just realize it's out there, and we're going to not do it, and we're going to find ways to beat them. Deep down inside, I don't believe that in order to be a star in cycling, you have to take drugs. I don't believe that. I believe I can rise to the very top 100% clean. It's really, really an exciting time to be in the sport, and I think we're in for a lot of changes.
This is not about us being better than every other team. This is about us trying to draw every other team into a system, that is going to prevent them from doping.
Nobody in our sport wants to cheat. Nobody in our sport wants to have to do anything or take any extra risks than they already have to take. I mean, the sport is dangerous enough.
Everyone's on the same page. Everyone wants sport to be clean. I'm absolutely convinced that this is the right thing for sport.
Over the 20 plus years that I've been involved in sports medicine, I've been optimistic and I've been pessimistic about the future of sport and cycling more specifically, but January 17, 2007, I'm optimistic about this whole thing.
ACE is an independent company. They're set up to basically do preventative biological marker testing.
It's really a completely different kind of anti-doping.
It's kind of like your passport to do the event, as opposed to a go ahead and do the event, and if you win, then we'll see if you actually won.
Our system here is completely preventative. When an athlete enters the program for the first time, they are tested approximately once every 3 days. And this is to help establish a lot of data about this athlete's what we call baseline.
The unique thing about this team is because these athletes are so young, we can ensure that this baseline we're getting from these athletes is indeed a clean baseline. We're going to be monitoring power output in training and racing throughout the entire season. So we have not only the unique ability to look at how doping products might be affecting their physiology, we can also directly look at how that might be impacting their power output.
With this amount of data, the public will know we're clean. If I know that when I'm racing, that everybody has faith in me, that gives me a lot of confidence to show what I can do.
Baseline for an athlete could be 38 hematocrit, and if it goes to 41, which is still well under the UCI limit, then that can throw up a red flag.
A positive result would be statistical deviation in a physiological parameter or a biological marker such as testosterone or growth hormone or red blood cell mass that deviates in a way that is abnormal relative to their training load. Even if that athlete is within normal limits based on WADA or USADA or the UCI, we would call that a positive result.
Just basically monitoring to make sure that there's no question, that the rider is healthy and that they're clean at the start.
And that's where we come in, and that's where we prove to everybody that we're fit to race before we even come to the start line. We're there to prove to the world that you can do what we do without doping.